Hey guys, hi Ed. How are you?
Hey, apologies for running a tiny bit late. I literally started the wrong meeting this morning and then sat for a couple of minutes wondering why I was all alone. Oh, it happens.
Hi, Ed.
Hello. I do apologize. I realize I've been falling behind the last day, so I need to catch back up. So thank you, Andre, for having a look at the dialer stuff. I think that gets us out from under having to do the dial option factory stuff.
Yeah. Just one issue I found and not yet found a good way to do fix for it. When we do callbacks, it's not necessary to use a security because it will be double secured, double SSL connection.
Mm-hmm.
So at the moment, client have only one set of deal options in a client chain element, and it's not possible to choose different deal options for different clients. So
we actually do have another reason why we need the security going back, and it comes around to the inject peer behavior. We need to be able to correctly capture the peer information from the SSL.
No, we already did so when client do handle callbacks on the server, and we use this bidirectional gRPC to stream one more virtual-like connection to perform a callbacks. And for this one connection, it's not necessary to do additional layer of security.
Well, so it's possible that you've already taken care of this and I simply am not understanding correctly. But from the point of view of the tokens, not the transport, we need to be able to find out our peers' TLS information to make sure that we can properly set the audience and the rest of that stuff.
Yeah, okay. In this case, it's not a problem. So you'll have double security. Okay.
Yeah, and on the scale of things, crypto is not that expensive. I mean, you occasionally run into this. I was talking to someone the other day, and they were saying, "But mumble crypto," and I said, "Yeah, the alternative is that we go and we spend 15 milliseconds on the network doing this other thing." Like, oh yeah. So yeah, I guess the 50 microseconds you're spending on crypto is not a huge deal. No, not really. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, as you know even better than I do, an enormous part of software engineering is just realizing what the hell you should optimize, as opposed to optimizing all the things.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. In this case, I will just create pull request to client to simplify and remove this factory stuff. Also, we could add Frederick because we have both commits to this pull request.
Mm-hmm.
So check and merge it. I fixed it with tests on your peer.
That's fine. I appreciate that. Were the tests not passing? I thought they've been passing.
We've been passing, but I've removed the old approach with deal option.
Okay. I had intentionally, by the way, removing it is fine. I had intentionally left it there to make sure that I didn't break any of your existing code in the transition.
It's still not merged, so
yeah.
the code is using it in S manager, so I will update after SDK after this commit will be merged.
Yeah. All right, that's good. But it was a comforting thing to know that I'd not screwed up. So, all right, let me go ahead and bring up the issue PR board. Give me 1 second. Yeah, as you probably noticed, like things like that, like the dial options just bug me, and I've got to sort of feel around for a different approach. Okay. Let me go ahead and share the board. Cool. So I realize that there are some things that are still out for review, including a document that you've written, Denise. Other than those things that I've already been poked about, is there anything else that folks need immediate assistance on? Let's just sort of flesh out the things where people are stuck.
Artyom, did you have any answer from the VPP guys or from WireGuard guys?
I'm sorry, my internet connection is not stable. No, the WireGuard guys didn't answer me.
Yeah, so we're waiting for some response from WireGuard guys because their noise framework and some code pieces we use could be released by BSD and Apache, but we need a confirmation from WireGuard guys.
Okay. I know last week we were talking about trying to find some Apache licensed implementations of some of the crypto algorithms.
Yeah, for crypto, it's mostly okay. It's a noise framework, which implementing some handshake stuff, which is implemented by WireGuard, and we're using it. And we need to know license for it because re-implementing it from scratch will be, I think,
annoying.
Yeah, not good. But on main side for WireGuard, we specify what they flexible in licensing and support BSD and Apache for some of the components. So we're trying to ask if this kind of components could be double licensed with Apache or BSD.
Yeah, that's good. And my guess is that, you know, they probably very much want to get interoperability. So my guess is that they will probably be okay with it to the degree that they're mechanically able. Occasionally relicensing gets to be painful mechanically because there's so many contributors, but hopefully that's not where they are. Okay, so
Ed, I have a question about license. Is the MIT license, is it good? Is it compatible with Apache too?
So I will preface this with I am not an attorney. I'm not a lawyer. But my experience has been that the MIT license is in fact compatible with Apache too. So I don't expect that to be an issue.
Okay.
So yeah, the amusing part is if push really comes to shove, the attorney who wrote that license is on retainer for the Linux Foundation. So we could ask him, but I don't think it'll come to that. Awesome. Cool. Anything else on the immediate term before we start walking the board?
No, that was good.
Okay. All right. So the implement memory-based registry is a separate application. I saw that you've got some initial stuff working on that.
Yep. I have provided initial memory-based registry, and it is ready for review. I think this issue can be moved to review in progress.
Review in progress, definitely. And I think you also did some cleanups on the chain elements that's in review in progress at this point.
Oh yes, I also have implemented chain element for cleanupping outdated NSM resources. PR also has provided.
Okay. Yeah, and I saw your improved performance of the chain, the adapters plus next, and I just need to go wrap my head fully around it. You know, because I would wrap my head around it, but my guess is it's probably in good shape, especially if existing tests are still passing. All right. So the registry refresh chain element.
Oh, is this element still in progress? This element should add possible to refresh expiration time for NEC, for example.
Right. So yes. Is it in progress or is it up for review?
It is in progress.
Good. Awesome. So we had this bug that had been brought up on the interdomain for the monorepo stuff. And if I recall correctly, you were starting to get some interactions back and forth. So you got some logs.
Here we need to reproduce this issue. I did not look in this issue at last week.
Okay, that's fine. You've been doing a lot of other good things. So, but let's keep it on the radar. The advanced OPA policies, I think we're keeping open until we can actually show them in practice.
Yep.
Cool. The VL3, I think there's some stuff that's out for review there. Plus, we're building components that lead towards that.
Oh, here I have provided interdomain spec.
Mm-hmm.
It is issue 235 for SDK repository.
So SDK 2354. Let me go ahead and 235.
235.
235. There we go. Let me add this to the project board. Oh, it is on the project board. Okay.
And here I have provided a Google Doc document with initial vision of how we can implement interdomain in SDK repository. So
okay,
please take a look.
Yes, absolutely. Let me sort of find that issue here so we can move it.
In to-do list. The first
okay,
issue.
So to-do list. There we go. Add interdomain chain elements. Let me move that to review in progress. At least on the document. Okay. Are we still seeing this refresh go routine leak from time to time?
I didn't fix it yet, but I found out last week that there is a strange behavior with timers. I see in logs that timers are being scheduled, but for some reason they won't start, and
that's very strange.
It may happen on the first refresh or 10th call. Trying to find out.
Okay. That is a little strange, yes. Okay. All right then. That is a little disturbing. So the WireGuard VPP plugin. Artem, I know you had mentioned before that you're chasing down some of the licensing. How are things going otherwise?
The last week I worked with my code. I found a problem with peer-to-peer connection, and because before I tested it only using 2 instances, and now I fixed it. I can make connection with many other peers. It seems works correctly. I'm testing it now, and additionally, I found some crypto protocols from public source with no GPL license, but I thought that MIT license is good, but I found some protocols with MIT.
So as I understand, we have problem only with noise we take from WireGuard.
Yeah, the main problem is noise. Yes.
Okay, so you've reached out to them. You know, I presume, did you reach out over their mailing list, or how did you reach out to them?
I did a draft PR with my code, and I did a README where I wrote.
How you write it to WireGuard guys?
Yeah.
For some
Yeah.
messaging, some stuff you mentioned about in our daily Scrum. Maybe it has some mailing list, so we can duplicate the information into it.
I wrote a WireGuard guys, and there is no answer.
Okay, so you emailed them? You emailed the mailing list?
Yeah, I sent them an email. Then.
Okay, so you emailed them directly?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. If you could drop me a note in the chat and let me know who you reached out to. I may also see if I've got other connections to them in the social graph.
Mm-hmm. This might speed up the process.
Yeah, it's crazy sometimes how just knowing the right people helps. Okay. So I think the network service mesh is I noticed a couple of things going by for review from you on the network service mesh stuff, Andre, which I'm still
NS Manager initial commit is ready for review.
Okay. Okay.
So
that's good.
Next stuff will be to work on chain elements to add as a forwarder. I'm not sure if you wanted to work on them by yourself.
The forwarder is very nearly done. So here's kind of where the state of the things are with the.
I mean, for network service manager, the chain elements to connect to forwarder. At the moment, network service manager chain elements connect to endpoint directly.
Yep.
So
let's chat a little bit on the let's chat a little bit on Slack about sort of what you're thinking in terms of the approach to that. I'm perfectly delighted to have you work on that. I just want to make sure that we try and arrive at something that's relatively straightforward and simple for it. So, but yeah, that's probably a good plan.
Also, at the moment, I think endpoint selector chain element select just one endpoint using round robin or anything, any other algorithm, but will not iterate with all possible endpoints as the monorepo did, one by one, if one is failed.
Okay, I'm trying to remember because it's been a little while since I wrote that. I've been thinking in terms of, so healing will definitely iterate and round. Round robin may not, you're correct. So we'll have to go take a look. Yeah, we'll have to go take a look and see if round robin is sort of round robining or if it's just picking one.
Yeah, and before what I plan to finish with some NS Manager tests to have all kind of tests. And there should be some work for integration repo.
Yeah, no, I get that. The other thing that I was sort of thinking in terms of is, so you may not want to do the retry end round robin itself. And let me sort of explain why I was kind of thinking that. And please note, this is a very half-formed thought right now. But one of the things that I'd like us to be able to do very easily is a situation where we have a proxy, basically we have something that registers as a network service element that isn't really providing the network service. Instead, what it's doing is starting the network service if you don't happen to have one. And so in that case, you could imagine having a policy where the first match is some kind of dynamic match that would match things that have actually are running and providing the network service appropriately close to you. But if that match fails, the fall through match would be the guy who will start the network service. So you make the request, you fall through to the guy who starts the network service. He starts the network service and then returns an error. At this point, you'd want to loop back to candidate selection. So what might be useful is to, it might be useful to try and figure out whether there's a place to put this prior to candidate selection. But again, that's a little bit of thought in the process. Essentially prior to the discovery chain element.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I think we need a lot of tests.
Yeah,
to check how it works.
No, I agree with you. There's definitely some stuff to shake out there. The good news is once we figured out the right behavior, we can put unit tests in and we'll be good to go. So, all right, cool. So the SRIOV stuff, I've seen a few things showing up there that need to be reviewed. How is that going?
Yeah, guys started to work in some initial chain elements, and we plan to have it integrated into a SRIOV forwarder. and to have example endpoint, which will based on config select some of the configured PCI address requested and do some simulation. And after we will do with some tests and simulation to try on a packet.net with real configurations.
One of the other things that we want to get going then for packet.net is we will need a VLAN remote mechanism to get it going on packet.net in a meaningful way. Because it's probably going to be the case that your remote mechanism in Packet is going to be a VLAN. So something else to keep in mind. Okay. And then we've got this new one, registry handle case where endpoint is already set.
Oh, this is a simple issue related to do comments.
Okay, so you actually have something. Oh, it's related to do comment.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I have attempted to put those in places where there was some more stuff that clearly needed to be done. So I do occasionally forget to delete them. So if you read a to-do comment and and it appears that the thing that the to-do comment references has been done, then that sometimes does happen. The command forwarder VPP agent, basically that one I have a patch that works for kernel to kernel and has tests for kernel to kernel, and that's functioning. Not only is it functioning in terms of pings, but I check to make sure that the IP addresses land the right places and that the right stuff gets cleaned up, et cetera, et cetera. The one trick there is that there were some small bugs that I'm trying to figure out the right way to resolve in the connect chain element. Because there's some tricky places in terms of whether you're dealing with the incoming connection ID or the outgoing connection ID and that kind of thing. And I've chased them down a couple ways now. That's actually a lot of the small things I've done have shaken out of chasing those down, like the dial context stuff, which was driving me completely insane, or the callback dialing stuff, which was driving me completely insane, came out of that. So I'm trying to chase that down. And quite frankly, the thing that continues to vex me is your parallel test that you wrote, Andre, which turns out to be an excellent test. It turns out it's super annoying to actually get that to work correctly, which is also a reason it's an excellent test. So yeah, so basically my expectation is, and in fact, what's super funny is I actually had a patch to fix the connect, and then I popped a stash onto the wrong branch, and now I've got to go sort it back out again. Well, because you know what it's like. You work a bunch of stuff in one place, you get it all working, you're like, okay, well, what is this logically? Okay, so logically there's a thing here that goes in like this, and so you pull it out, you do a PR, and then you do the next one, you do a PR, and you do a bunch of rebasing as the PRs go in, and I sort of got down to the last step and popped onto the wrong branch, and now I got to go clean the mess up. It's very sad. All right. Cool. Authorize monitor chain elements. Oh, for authorizing monitor. Got it. For some reason, my head got turned around and I was like, why would I need to monitor authorization? Anyway. Okay, and that one I just think I need to go back and talk to them. So I think that's what we've got here. We are running up against the top of the hour. Is there anything else before we drop and move to the next call?
No, we could do any other discussions using Slack.
Awesome. Appreciate it, guys. Talk to you then.
Yep, see you.
See you.
Yeah.